President Donald J. Trump repeatedly promised to preserve and protect Social Security for every eligible American. And he has unquestionably delivered.
Okay? So important.
If you're collecting Social Security right now, or you're planning to soon, then today's update is going to matter a lot to you. Because starting in October, your monthly payment schedule isn't just the same old routine. It's being reshaped by something huge. President Trump's push for a Social Security increase that's already making waves in Washington and across the country. So in this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. What Trump's increase means, when October checks are arriving, and how this might affect you and your family. If you're new here, welcome to the channel where we cut through the noise and focus on what matters most: your benefits, your wallet, and your peace of mind. And if you've been here before, thank you for coming back. You know that every single update I share is backed by research, real numbers, and the voices of seniors across America who live this reality every day. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you a quick question, and please leave your answer in the comments. Are you currently receiving Social Security retirement benefits, disability benefits, or survivor benefits? Or are you still waiting to file? I ask this because every single one of these categories is going to feel the impact of these changes a little differently. And I want to make sure that as I go through the October payment schedule, I'm speaking directly to you and your situation. Here's what's on the table. Trump is calling for what he's describing as an inflation relief increase to Social Security checks. He's framing it as a direct way to offset rising costs, especially for seniors on fixed incomes. The number floating around is a boost of up to $200 a month, which could mean $2,400 more over the course of a year. Now, let's be clear, this isn't signed into law yet. But the fact that it's being tied to the October payment schedule is what's raising eyebrows, because October is when these changes would start to show up if they were implemented immediately. The third wave of September Social Security payments will be sent this week, with recipients born between the 21st and 31st of the month expected to receive funds on Wednesday, September 24th, according to the Social Security Administration, SSA, reported USA Today. Beneficiaries who began receiving Social Security before May 1997 received their payment on September 1st, while those with birthdays between the 1st and 20th have already been paid. Supplemental Security Income, SSI recipients, including people with disabilities and older adults with limited income, did not receive a September payment on the 1st due to Labor Day. Instead, payments were issued on August 29th. The maximum SSI payment in 2025 is $967 for individuals and $1,450 for couples. The next SSI payment is scheduled for Wednesday, October 1st, with subsequent payments on October 31st and December 1st. There will be no SSI payment in November, but 2 payments will be made in December, including one for January 2026. Social Security benefits are usually paid on Wednesdays. The SSA calendar states that beneficiaries born between the 1st and 10th of a month receive payments on the 2nd Wednesday, those born between the 11th and 20th on the 3rd Wednesday, and those born after the 20th on the 4th Wednesday. Those receiving both Social Security and SSI will get Social Security on the 3rd of the month and SSI on the 1st. September will also mark the last month Social Security payments are issued by paper check. Starting in October, beneficiaries must receive payments via direct deposit or a direct express card following an executive order signed by President Donald Trump in March. Looking ahead, payments may be electronically dispersed from both Social Security and Veterans Affairs accounts due to the new directive. A projected cost of living adjustment, COLA, for 2026 could be higher than this year's 2.5%, with estimates suggesting a 2.7% increase, according to the Senior Citizens League. The official announcement is expected in mid-October. The one caveat, however, is Supplemental Security Income, or SSI. SSI beneficiaries include those with disabilities and older adults with little to no income. In 2025, the maximum monthly payment is $967 for an individual and $1,450 for a couple. Beneficiaries received no such payment in September, thanks to Labor Day landing on September 1. These payments typically go out on the first day of the month, unless that day falls on a weekend or a holiday, in which case they're dispersed on the previous business day. That's what happened in the case of September's SSI payments. They were sent before the start of the month, on August 29th. SSI beneficiaries will receive a payment next week Wednesday as the calendar switches to October. Then, on Halloween, they'll receive another payment, which is technically November's. There will be no SSI payment in November, but 2 in December. How your Social Security and Veterans Affairs benefits are sent out may, however, be changing in October. An executive order signed earlier this year called for payments from both agencies to be dispersed electronically, with a few exceptions. A recent projection also suggested Social Security beneficiaries could see a larger cost of living adjustment, COLA, in 2026 than they received this year. According to the Senior Citizens League, current estimates point to a 2.7% increase for next year, up from this year's 2.5%. Americans received a glimmer of financial relief last week when the Federal Reserve cut rates for the first time this year and indicated more cuts could be on the horizon. In just a few weeks, there could be signs of additional support. In the fall, the IRS typically announces changes that will impact how you file taxes at the start of the next year. That can include changes to tax provisions. More than 60 updates were announced last year, and potentially most significant to you, the tax brackets. We already know the tax brackets that apply to this year, and thereby the taxes you'll be filing early next year. But the IRS has yet to announce any changes for the 2026 tax year. IRS unveils 2025 income tax brackets. Where do you fall? Nonetheless, the latest projections from Bloomberg Tax suggest we could see the brackets shift again. The brackets determine the portion of your income that is taxable after the standard deduction or itemized deductions are subtracted. Bloomberg's report estimates that all 7 tiers of the IRS's tax brackets will see a bump in 2026. It's important to remember that the 2026 projections are just that, projections. The IRS isn't expected to release the actual updates to tax provisions until October or November. If the tax brackets do change as expected, you'll likely also see a larger paycheck in 2026. We do know some of the additional modifications taking effect next year that could impact your taxes. That includes no tax on tips and overtime, changes to the child tax credit, and a tax deduction for seniors. There are more than 60 jobs that will qualify for President Trump's No Tax on Tips law ushered in through his One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Service industry workers ranging from bartenders to golf caddies will have the opportunity to receive the full payment of their services without being charged taxes on their income. Workers who fall under this designation will also qualify for tax deductions of up to $25,000 in tips if they make less than $150,000 or $300,000 if they're married and filing jointly. According to the Associated Press, the amount workers can deduct is reduced by $100 for every $1,000 they make beyond $150,000. Employees who complete overtime will also be eligible for up to $12,500 in deductions for overtime, or up to $25,000 in a joint return. Similar to the new regulation for tips, the amount workers can deduct is reduced if they make more than $150,000 AP reported. Under President Trump's leadership, Social Security has transformed customer service. The agency is handling 70% more calls than last year, while lowering the average speed of answer by 80%, from 30 minutes to just 6 minutes. Improved use of technology has enabled 90% of calls to the national line to be served via automated self-service options or callbacks, further minimizing hold times. Average customer wait times at field offices have declined by 23%, while 5 times as many visitors have scheduled appointments compared to last year. All field offices are fully staffed, with employees returning to the office 5 days a week for the first time in years to better serve the American people. Social Security has made vast technology improvements. Americans now have 24/7, 365 access to their online accounts after reducing the long-standing scheduled downtime of 29 hours per week to 0, enabling over 280,000 more customers to access their online accounts in the first 2 weeks alone. A new recording and transcription system to replace antiquated hardware is near full implementation, increasing accuracy and saving millions of dollars per year. Innovative upgrades to phone technology have been deployed to 92% of field offices. Social Security has driven down backlogs and delivered ahead of schedule. There has been a 26% reduction in the backlog of initial disability claims from its all-time high last year, while the average processing time has been cut down by 5 days, and the average wait time for a disability hearing has been cut by 60 days. Over 3.1 million payments, totaling more than $17 billion, were sent to eligible beneficiaries under the Social Security Fairness Act 5 months ahead of schedule. Social Security has dramatically increased accountability. The agency has identified more than $1 billion in cost avoidance and efficiencies this fiscal year. The agency has addressed billions of dollars in improper payments. After years of delay, Social Security is rolling out a new payroll information exchange that will transmit information directly from payroll providers, saving billions of dollars in payments over the next decade. Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, thereby delivering the largest tax cut in American history, increasing Americans' take-home pay by as much as $13,300, and terminating benefits for at least 1.4 million illegal immigrants who were gaming the system. Congress passed President Trump's historic rescissions package, which will save taxpayers $9 billion in wasteful, politically motivated funding for left-wing foreign aid scams and biased NPR and PBS. President Trump also issued a $5 billion pocket rescission using his authority under the Impoundment Control Act, canceling government funding for woke, weaponized, and wasteful spending. The wholesale price of a dozen eggs